family. In fact, we're privileged to have the daughter of late Dr. Ibrahim Tahir. She's actually present here, and we'd like to honor her by calling her to the high table. She is the person of our word at the time. Please, can you come to the high table? Give her a round of applause, please. Please keep clapping up as you go to the high table. Thank you. Thank you for the honor. Thank you very much. And of course, we have a family member also, Ibrahim Tahir, who is here. Can you please wave if you're here? Ibrahim Tahir, can you clap for him? Right here, family member too, Mustafa Tahir, came in while the lecture was going on. Can you wave please from the distance? We have other signatories who will only recognize them too. Honorable Ado, my doya is here. Can you please wave the congregation? Honorable Ado Maidoya is here. Yakub Isa is here. Alhaji Ibrahim Ladan Winti is here. And Alhaji Yahya, I guess it's Lonely is also here. I want to say welcome to all of you. We will please continue without waste of time. Okay, thank you very much. Ameen Tahir from the family of Dr. Ibrahim Tahir is also here. Recognize you, please. Where is he? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your presence. So without waste of time, please, we will continue with our lecture. The second one is going to be delivered by Honorable Sani Suleiman on youth and politics today. But please, I'd like to make a plea that because of the time, I guess. No problem, Frank. You were actually the lead speaker, so we have to give you enough time to do that. We appreciate that. The second lecture in 20-25 minutes, I believe, is going to round up. Put your hands together, please, for him.
Maybe 15 minutes. If you allow me, I will say there is no need for this presentation of me, because it was so interesting listening to our well-respected professor. He has talked about finding everything about this gathering, from who Dr. Ibrahim Tahir is, up to the issue of youth and politics in northern Nigeria and Nigeria today. So if you permit me, I would say I have no need to present this paper. Another thing is for the organizers that when you ask my father, my leader, my teacher to make presentation, you ask me to come after him and make presentation, I think you are putting me in a very tight box. Because maybe you have called me to talk, and then when he comes, he panabit and corrects my shortcomings and anomalies. All the same, I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here with you and to also sit down and listen and learn. When the AYDF Bauchi contacted me to be here and to also share some of my thoughts with this gathering, I said, wow, today, Saturday, I'm supposed to be in Kaduna, for a meeting of a think tank put together by the Sultan on some issues. But I said, can I afford to miss this rare opportunity for the first time to interact with my fellow youths on the lessons we can learn from people like Dr. Ibrahim Tahir. And I left just this morning to be here, and I thank God I'm here. Thank you very much. When I was growing up, I think I get to know about the title of Talba being synonymous to the late Dr. Ibrahim Tahir. Anytime I hear Talba, the only person I remember is the Talban Bauchi. Anywhere, anytime. And I think up to today, anywhere you say Talba, people, their mind will go to Bauchi because of what he did and how he utilized that title. My first close contact with late Talba was when I was the Secretary General of the Youth Mobilization Director of the Nigeria Organization. 2007, he was a member of the campaign. And anywhere we travel, every morning, the first point of call is the room of Dr. Ibrahim Tahir Talba to give us lecture as young people about the politics of Nigeria. And every evening when we return, the last point of call before we retire to our room is the room of Dr. Talba. So I dearly miss him as a father and also as a teacher who is always willing to share his experience with the young people and to make sure that he guides us on the right path. One experience that I will always remember about him is when Professor was talking, he talked about how he excelled in English, in Arabic, but I think one thing I got to learn about my interaction with him is how he excelled even in other Nigerian languages, Igbo and the rest of them. We were in Enugu, and everybody was delivering speech at a campaign rally. And when it was time for Dr. Talba to talk, he chose to talk in Igbo, and to the amaze of everybody there, he spoke so clear. I didn't know when he picked that one. And he mobilized the whole gathering and he took the day. May his soul rest in peace. With all respect and to the protocol, the Magazine Afinzozo, Professor Ango Abdullahi and Pro-Chancellor of ATBU, the representative of the Ibrahim Bauchi and Ahmadu Abdullahi, Director of Cairo Microfinance, Professor Mohammed Hamis, ATBU, Professor Fatima Tahir, and also the representative of the gubernatorial candidate of CPC and all other dignitaries, especially my friends, the future generation of Northern Nigeria and Nigeria's youth. Let me start by saying that I urge us all to remember that the leaders of yesterday and the leaders of today were once young men and young women as we are today. They were activists for one cause or the other in their youthful age. We've heard about Professor and also about the late Talba. There is probably no issue that today we will be discussing that is likely not engaged by these people during their time. They were as passionate for the causes they believe in as you and me today. But there is one very sharp difference between them and us today. When you talk about politics in Northern Nigeria, especially with the privilege of being in Bauchi, we must remember people like late Mother Ahmadu of blessed memory. We must remember late first Prime Minister of Nigeria, Tafawa Balewa. We must remember other prominent politicians of Nigeria who are from other parts of Northern Nigeria but started their political career and their activism in Bauchi. Particularly, we must remember the Bauchi Middle School. We must talk about Madam Ameen Kano. We talk about these people making reference to Bauchi because their political career and their story cannot be complete without making reference to Bauchi. Bauchi remains in the center of political development in Northern Nigeria. It is in Bauchi that we had the Bauchi General Improvement Union. That is the PGI. This came out of the Bauchi discussion cycle. And the question I always ask myself as a young person and also ask my fellow friends and brothers, young people, is that have you ever made time to sit down and say, okay, what happened during the Bauchi discussion cycle and then what led to the Bauchi General Improvement Union and the rest of it? They never disagree because they could not share money.
They never disagree because they are fighting and struggling to acquire wealth. They never disagree because they want to build house and they want to ride the best of cars. They only disagree because of ideology. We are radicals and we want it this way. We are moderate and we are conservative radicals. But for us today, you and me, we fight. Today is AYDF, tomorrow is ADPF, tomorrow is AJDF, simply because of the money politicians are giving us to fight. And for them to manipulate us and use us for their own selfish interests. So if we gather here today to discuss the legacies of people like Dr. Tahir Talba, to discuss the legacies of people like Malam Ahmadu, to discuss the legacies of people like Maitama, to discuss the legacies of people like Mala Abba Maiparu, to discuss the legacies of Mala Ibrahim Imam, to discuss the legacies of Mala Chisonde Aoni, to discuss the legacies of Joseph Taka, to discuss the legacies of Mala Yahya Wuso, then we must start by asking ourselves, what are we doing today? What are we doing? What did those people do differently from what we are doing today? I blame us, the young people, more than those elderly people that will always claim to say, oh, we want generation shift. I absolutely agree with Professor. There is this saying by Madam Maitama student Amatan that new breed creates new creeds. And he says, for any society to thrive, you need the exuberance, you need the radicality, you need the energetic nature of young people, but they cannot succeed without the wisdom and the experience of the elderly people. And that is one of the best aspects and one of the best things that we have in northern Nigeria. And today we are looking at it. And if we continue to look at it, I'm afraid that the way and manner those people in 1943, 1944 to 1950 were able to shape the political happenings of their time. Whenever they come together and form a group, whatever they hold a group, they are forming it not for their selfish interests. They are not forming it just because they want to ride the best of cars, but they are forming it because they want to shape the events of the day for the betterment of their future. Is our future not in our hands? Are we saying our future is in the hand of Professor Ango Abdullahi? No way. No way. Our future is in our hands, and we must rise up. Over the years in Nigerian history, northern Nigeria has been known nationally and internationally for her strong political brinksmanship and leadership distinction. Whenever we talk about politics and leadership in Nigeria, the reference is the north. In this position bequeathed by our founding fathers, those that I mentioned and many, many others that we could not mention, and also other political forebearers, who were selfless people, focused and indeed committed to the development of northern Nigeria as a region in their leadership efforts. But recent events have shown that unequivocally that the